This is one of those days for an old friend whose voice rang across this countryside, Bob Ufer, being remembered this weekend by so many as a recording of his memories have come out. And on a day like this, he would be higher than the biggest mountain in the world. It's kicked deep. Michigan's Anthony Thomas returning it. And he shakes one, shakes two. He's got a big return all the way out to the 45-yard line before the kicker, Dan Stoltz, knocks him out of bounds.
And Keith, what Michigan did is they faked the reverse. Charles Woodson, number 2, is going to come from the left side of the screen. I don't see any Buckeyes that really went with the Woodson, but the fake was there, and Thomas with a big return.
Thomas broke that one tackle that got him started, and once he got out in the open, he's a big guy, 229 yards, a 43-yard return, the longest of the year for Michigan. From the 45-yard line, the ball is handed off to Chris Howard, and Howard is taken down by Kevin Johnson, an outside linebacker. The Chile starting lineup for the Michigan Wolverines offense across the front. They could dictate the pace of this game. Tackle Jeff Backus, dinged last week. He's back in there okay. The receivers, wide out Streets and Shaw, had a good outing at Wisconsin. Running back, good receiver, Clarence Williams. He's still out. I'll give you the backs in a moment. It is second down, 11. The ball is thrown to the outside to Chris Howard. Howard gets it up across the line of scrimmage all right, but then takes a wicked lick from Antoine Winfield, a cornerback who is the number 2 tackler on the Ohio State defense. The Michigan backfield with Brian Griese, who's been remarkably steady. Chris Howard has been like a loose lightning bolt over the last couple of weeks. He has really been playing well. But here they come to what they don't want to do. They're in 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. The pass is away. The pass is incomplete. It was on the hands of the tight end Jeremy Tooman, but Gary Berry hit him a solid lick just as the ball arrived, and Michigan will have to punt.
Jeremy Tooman is the 2nd leading receiver. The Wolverines like to go to their tight ends. Berry, Fred Pugich, alerting his defensive backs, look for the tight ends.
Jason Benson gets a high-hanging kick away, averaging just under 40. It hits at the 5 and bounds into the end zone. Ohio State will possess the ball out at the 20 for their first snap on offense. The Chile starting lineup for the Ohio State Buckeyes across the front. The coaches had to rebuild that unit. 3 sophomores and a redshirt freshman, tackle to tackle. The receivers, definitely a strength position for the Buckeyes. Boston and Miller, 2 of the best in the conference. In the backfield, the quarterback combination of Jackson and Jermaine will be interesting today against the pressure of the Michigan defense. So Jermaine stands on the sideline as usual. Stanley Jackson is in to take the first snap of the ball game for the Buckeyes, and he drops back to show pass. And will pull it down and take off for 2 yards. He was looking around. He looked for Boston. Boston deep. He was not available. The Michigan defense across the front. This group could determine the ball game, especially the defensive end, Steele and Williams. The linebackers, what the front guys have missed, these people clean up. Number 93, Sam Sword, is broad. Deanna Jones, the rapier. The defensive backs, cornerbacks, Woodson and Weathers, will be busy. Hendricks is back from a mild injury. Marcus Ray is a hitter who could have a big day today. It is second down and 8. Jackson rolling to the left. Steele's active. He got a block around the corner, and he is quick to pull it down and take off, and that's the dimension that worries every defensive team. And he is about 2 yards short of his first down.
Keith, some early observations about the Buckeyes. The first 2 offensive plays, both pass plays. And both pass plays were designed to get outside. Not stay in the pocket, but get the quarterback outside. The receivers were covered. Stanley had to run the football.
It is 3rd and 2 from the 28-yard line. Changing his play, or trying to, and now calls timeout. Things were not in place the way he wanted. So rather than take a chance on 3rd and 2, he calls a timeout, and it burned the play clock. Ohio State, with the play clock clicking down, Stanley Jackson called time. They've got the play set now, and the people they want for the play. And so here is 3rd and 2. No score in the early going at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Jackson hands it inside. Play is big. Pepe Pearson blows it all the way to the 45-yard line before Tommy Hendricks can bring him down, and there was a big hole on the right side of center.
Nice spike by the fullback, Matt Keller, Keith, getting him free in the hole. From behind, the advantage of the timeout made sure that Ohio State had a good play. 3rd and short, big first down.
The well-advertised wideouts yet to see the ball. Pepe Pearson has come into a wide position, and Jackson back looking around, has time and throws, and blocked by David Boston. Let's check with our colleague Lynn Swan about field conditions.
Well, Keith, all things considered, the fact that Michigan hasn't been on this field for 3 weeks, it's actually in terrible condition. It's hard because it was frozen. There's a hole in the middle of the field. It looks like you could drive a Jeep into and park it for a week. Now, the tarp doesn't cover the entire field. So the Michigan sideline is a little wet there. It doesn't cover the end zone. So both end zones, the grass is a little bit longer. It's wet, it's lying down. If a receiver or back is running along the back of the end zone, he might slip on this. But this is a hard field. Traction is not going to be great, Keith.
All right, Swanee, 2nd down and 10. Blitz coming. Doesn't work. They got it off. Gave it to Keller. Jackson felt the blitz, saw the blitz, took the blow, but handed the ball to his fullback and was slow to get up, but Keller saved the day.
This is great timing. Dhani Jones times it perfectly, but Stanley Jackson just dishes the ball off just in the nick of time. Prevented a fumble, Keith. If Dhani Jones had been there a second sooner, it could have been a fumble. Michigan defense tops in the nation in several categories.
3rd down and 8. Shotgun for Ohio State. They flushing. He's dangerous outside, but he won't get his first down. He hit the chalk at about the Michigan 49-yard line.
Well, there was nobody open downfield, Keith, and this is the extra dimension that Stanley brings. Here's a look at Boston and Woodson on the outside. He's just standing there. Now they're fighting. They were saying some stuff early in the week. Boston said it, and then Woodson back at him. They're just getting some frustration, and it's good that they get rid of that early in the game.
It's amazing, though, it didn't get a flag.
Yeah, exactly. Settle down and play football.
Bartholomew is the punter for Ohio State, and a good one. He's averaging better than 45 yards per punt. Charles Woodson is waiting for it. That's a high, long kick that goes into the end zone. So it'll go in the books at 49 yards. The clock shows 10:33 to play first quarter. And there is no score in this 94th meeting between Michigan and Ohio State. Music ringing across the festival in Ann Arbor. And they, I'm sure, will push toward a record crowd. Over 1,000 credentials for the media at today's ball game. First down for Michigan. Woodson is the man in motion. He's in on offense. And Greasy rolls the other way. Turns it inside, and Brian picks up close to 5 yards. Jerry Rudzinski tripped him as he made his cut. The Ohio State defense up front, they have a true freshman defensive end, Rodney Bailey, who got his start today. He's an exciting newcomer, and this is a big start for a freshman. Linebackers, a good solid group, 213 total tackles among them. Katzenmoyer with 84. In the secondary, Antoine Winfield, the cornerback, is the leader back there. The others are young, but they've grown every week. And I think you've already seen they will put a hat on you. So both defenses will go searching a lot today.
As we mentioned early, Keith, I mean, the offensive players get all the notoriety, but these two defenses are outstanding. last year in this ball game, only 1 touchdown was scored and 5 field goals. So that's the history of this series.
Chris Floyd, number 7, carried on that last play, and the noise you heard was Floyd colliding with Katzenmoyer. They'll see each other a lot this afternoon. It is 3rd down and 3. Swing it out. It's Howard slipping and falling at the 25. Trying to make the cut, couldn't do it. Feet were not out from under him. Winfield was right there.
Just good vision by the Buckeye secondary, especially Winfield. Michigan does this a lot. Brian will look downfield and then dump it off behind the line of scrimmage to the back, and Winfield saw it.
The punter, Vincent, is in. His first kick was 53 yards. This is number 2. Get a little pressure on him. He doesn't get all of it this time. It's going to be a good field position for Ohio State as David Boston does not fair catch it, makes the catch at the 41, and they stick his ear right in the ground. Aaron Shea was down to get him in a hurry. A lot of money floating around that baby.
Yes, sir.
Just outside the 41. There's movement along the front, and it draws a double handful of flags. Jim Kimmerling is the referee. He's a good one. Roger Haber is the umpire.
Ball, false start on the offense. 5 yards, first down.
Ed Peters, the linesman. Tom Hoffman, the line judge. Tom Bryan, the field judge. Side judge is Tom Clark, and the back judge is Scott Helverson. Back him up 5, make it 1st and 15. Rob Sweat is in there, replacing Clint Copenhaver right now at a linebacker position for Michigan. Woodson comes over to cover Boston. Look at him right in the eye at the top of your picture. He didn't chuck it. Didn't have to running play. James Hall, number 56. Slashes in there to get Stanley Jackson. And here's Swanee again.
Okay, you know, in big ball games, sometimes in the first couple of series, you're a little uptight and nervous, and I think David Boston is just a little bit nervous in this ball game. He drops a pass that he would never drop in the course of this season. And one of the things he did as soon as he dropped the pass, the next 3rd down situation came along, he ripped off the gloves, threw them off, and said, I don't need these. All right, as soon as he settles down, you're going to see a lot better play from all of them, including David Boston.
He's on the near side now with Weathers covering him. They throw it short underneath to the big tight end, John Lumpkin, and Big is correct, 6'8", 260. And he will pick up 10 yards on the play up to the 45-yard line. Rob Renus made the hit on him.
Stanley Jackson on the season, Keith, 61%. He has no interceptions this year. 20 sacks, Keith, and that's a lot more than Joe Germain has. You'd think Stanley wouldn't be sacked very often because of his running ability, but sometimes he holds the ball a little bit too long and gets sacked. But he's had to run here a few times early on.
It's 3rd and 5 now, and he's back to throw again. Looks for Boston, lets it go the other way, and it will be a first down for Dee Miller. Dee Miller working against Andre Weathers, and he caught the ball, reached, and got the first down.
Good first down pickup by the Buckeyes. Keeps the drive going, Keith. Early on, get some momentum for your offense. Here's a look at Miller. Just does a little stop route. 3rd and 5 or less. If the corner is off, that's an easy completion.
He's become a very good receiver this year. First down at the Michigan 46-yard line for the Buckeyes. Marcus Ray comes up along the line of scrimmage, picks up a man there. They go the other way for Boston, and it's too deep. And Boston had actually broken free from Woodson and had him by about 2 steps.
Michigan was messed up defensively, Keith. Ohio State did a lot of shifting there, a couple of things that Michigan may not have seen before, and there was some confusion. Stanley had him open, just overthrew it.
6:50 to play first quarter, no score. Michigan already owns a share of the Big Ten Conference title. Ohio State is playing today to try to claim a piece of it. And Penn State's still in the hunt.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, you can see Stanley back in the huddle saying to Boston, I overthrew you, I had you, we'll get it.
2nd down and 10. from the 46. This is Pearson. And Pepe slashing through the left side. Gets into the secondary where the cornerback Weathers had to make the tackle. And he's close to a first down.
The offensive line of Ohio State doing a nice job opening up some holes on the left side over there. Walter and Murphy. That's Gilbert 64. Goldston is 50. And a nice piece of running by Pepe just to hang in behind those big bodies and wait for the hole to open.
Across the front as they measure for the first down, it's just short. The Buckeyes go 305, 300, 290, 295, and 305. So they can rumble with you up there.
Goldston, number 50, had been the center for most of the season, about halfway anyway, and then moved back out to right tackle. And Kurt Murphy moved into center, and that has really seemed to solidify this offensive line.
Everyone's been talking about the Michigan defensive front and how superior they are to Ohio State's offensive line. Bob, you and I know when you play in these kind of ball games, that kind of stuff in the newspaper all week long serves as motivation. And it looks like the Ohio State offensive line has accepted that challenge.
So far, you're right. Keller is hit in the backfield by number 93, Sam Sword.
One of the things that Michigan does, number 93 is the middle linebacker, Sword. They'll bring these linebackers and up in there and run them through. If they see a running play, they run through the gap. And that was the, well, it looks like they're going to punt, Keith. You never know when they're in this field position.
They went from 3rd and a half, a very short yard, to 4th and a good 2. And Bartholomew is in. And he's going to try to pooch it down there and kill it deep. It's a tail dragger, though. If they let it hit, it'll go into the end zone. Kevin Griffin was down there, but just could not get a piece of it and stuff it. And so Michigan will get the ball back at their own 20-yard line.
You can be sure that Ohio State has been well vested in that play all week long, Keith.
All right, here come the Wolverines to a first down at their own 25, 45 to go. No score first quarter. Buckeyes show 5 men up front. Give the ball to Chris Howard. And Howard gets 3 yards. Damon Moore, number 13, strong safety, gets up there in a hurry, and he was there involved in that one.
Brian, versus the last 7 ranked opponents that Michigan has played, doing a nice job.
High streets way wide to the top of the picture. Greasy throws underneath to Howard. Howard going to the sidelines. Great lateral pursuit, and if there is anything that Ohio State can do, those linebackers will go sideline to sideline as well as anybody. And it was Katzenmoyer first to get to him.
And when you stop to think that Katzenmoyer is 6'4" and 260, he's a middle linebacker, 260. He runs 4'6".
And the other one out there was 35, Rudzinski.
Katzenmoyer is just a young teenager. Keith, he's only 19 years old.
And says he is going to be playing at Ohio State next year. Cleared that up. It's 3rd down and 2 now for Michigan. Little short pass thrown hard. Trying to get it to Charles Woodson, and it was Katzenmoyer and Moore who broke it up.
Katzenmoyer in particular, Keith. Ryan's looking to the outside. Katzenmoyer sees it and gets back. All they wanted to do was pick up the first down, and Andy stopped them from doing it.
All right, Benson is in for his 3rd punt. 53 and 35 on the first 2. David Boston is waiting. He's standing back at his own 35-yard line and now walking up more. So if he handles it, Ohio State should have very good field position again. And that's going to be accepted at the 40-yard line by Boston. He's hit down at the 43-yard line, and it's Aaron Shea for the 2nd time making the tackle. Ohio State's had very good field position from the outset in this first quarter. 4:16 remaining. They accept this possession at the 43. Stanley Jackson continues as the quarterback. Give the ball to Pepe Pearson. And Pearson, who's had a couple of good runs, and that field's starting to break up a little bit now as these running backs make their cuts. He's out to the near the 47 before Tommy Hendricks makes the tackle.
Ohio State offensively in the Big Ten, they're the #1 passing team, and averaging 33 points per game. Keith, early on in this game, if anybody has shown some life, it's been Ohio State. They've made some first downs, except for the opening kickoff by Michigan. The Wolverines really haven't done anything.
Woodson in Boston squared off on the near sideline. Jackson looked for Boston, comes back to look for him again. He's got all day, and finally Sweat goes after him, and the pass is completed to D. Miller for a first down. So there was utterly no pressure on Jackson. He had a week to look around, and he finally found Miller.
Well, and there was nobody open. It was a 3-man route. Everybody went down about 5 yards and stopped. And when the ball didn't come their way, they just stood there, and nobody was pressuring Stanley. So he's covered initially. Finally, somebody got after the quarterback and forced him to throw it.
It's first down for the Buckeyes at the Michigan 45. The pressure being put on now by Ohio State from good field position. And it is Pepe Pearson slashing up the middle. And they're opening some holes in the middle of that Michigan defense. Marcus Ray and Deanna Jones combined for that tackle. But they've taken Rennis out of the middle, and Steele and Williams, Josh Williams, yet to be heard from.
Murphy and Gilbert, 64. Fullback does a nice job of getting a piece of Sam Sword, 93. It's all you want, Keith. 5 or 6 yards on first down running plays. You'll take that anytime.
You get 6 yards on first down, you're going to win the ball game. Second down and 3. This is Pearson again. That's another first down. He's belted out of bounds by Tommy Hendricks, but moved the chains.
The wide receiver on that side came back. He did a nice job of cracking back. A little tossed. Pepe, 9 touchdowns this year, averaging 66 yards a game. He's had 14 career games over 100 yards.
Rob Sweat, linebacker, came off, kind of holding his hip. Copenhaver goes back in to replace him. Pearson's carried 5 times now for 42 yards. First down Buckeyes at the Michigan 33. Jackson dropped it. Got it. Glenn Steele covers the ball. Eric Wilson got into the backfield, messed up the play, knocked the ball loose, and Glenn Steele recovered it.
Take a look at the replay. Going to be a little bit reversed. Going to hand it back. The fullback grabbed it out of Stanley's hands. The Buckeyes have lost more fumbles, 17, than any team in the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, that's a total of, 30 now that they put on the ground, and they've lost it 17 times. And yet they're ranked 4th in the nation. On first down from the 43-yard line, it is Chris Howard. There isn't any daylight there. He gets 1 yard, and it's Winfield Garnett, that big 305-pound tackle from Riverdale, Illinois, that nailed him down. 2:15 to play in the first quarter. Both these teams are too good for the other side to help them. They don't need any help. Yeah. You start laying it on the ground or giving it away on turnovers, you're going to get beaten.
Too good defensively.
Yes.
So, yeah, exactly right.
Second down.
Illegal!
9. Joe blitz. Coming. Greasy steps away. Gets his pass off. It is caught by Jeremy Truman, the tight end. That's a heck of a catch by Truman. Wow.
It's a nice job by Brian staying in the pocket and waiting. The linebacker comes up the middle, and he jumps out of his tackle, waits for the receiver to get there, Truman, and gets the ball to him. This could be a play, Keith, that gets Michigan off the schneid. They've been 3 and out the first 3 possessions.
This is their first down. It is at the Ohio State 39-yard line. It was Kevin Johnson that almost got the sack. And they go back inside with a run. Chris Howard, and again, there's just nothing there. He'll get 2 yards on that carry. One of the reasons they're not getting much running room in there is that those linebackers, Johnson and those 2 in particular, Johnson and Katzenmoyer, step up and plug a hole. And when those 2 guys plug it, it's plugged.
Well, and Freddie Puckett, the defensive coordinator, one thing he wants to do is stop the Michigan run. You know, get 8 guys up there if you have to, but stop them and force them to throw. Here they come.
Thomas is the running back. He's at the top of the picture, probably the hot man. Greasy sacked, taken down by number 1, Gary Berry. So they brought everybody, including the Poodle, and they got him back at the 46-yard line.
You can see everybody walk up into the line of scrimmage, but here is Berry over here. He's the free safety. Watch him as he's going to come in, as Brian's going to turn his back to him. There was 2 guys there for Floyd to block. He picked the outside one, and the biggest one, I might add. Maybe he was trying to do Brian a favor. Says, I'm going to pick the biggest one, let the littlest one go.
3rd down and 16. Time about gone in this first quarter. Greasy's pass, bounce, penalty flag thrown right at the point where the pass was released, and it's almost surely going to be a holding call against Michigan, because he threw it right at big old Jeff Backus, and that's what it's going to be. So the Wolverines get the turnover and get a break. Now they're backing up. 2 seconds remaining in the quarter. No score. It's kind of like watching the fuse to see how short it's getting.
2 good teams, Keith. It's, you know, you're going to have a feeling out period, and that's what this is.
So the holding call is defined against the Michigan Wolverines, and that's going to move the football all the way back to the 36-yard line. And it'll be 4th down and a mile.
3rd down.
I mean, 3rd down and a mile.
Here's where Mike with the board just signals into Brian. Call anything you want. 3rd and, what is it, 35? 34. 3rd and 34. You call your own play.
Thomas, the back in motion, throw it out there to him. Here he comes back on the inside. Can't break that first tackle. We go to the second quarter of play with Michigan now 4th down, and they'll punt it away. Jason Benson in for his 4th kick of the day. His first one was the best. The other 2 have been 35 and 33. And waiting for it is David Boston for Ohio State. Damon Moore drops back to block for him, give him a little help, a little convoy up the field. They're going to try to chuck the speedsters up, keep them away from him, so you'll have a chance to catch it, but there's going to be pretty good coverage here, and he's going to leave it go. It's short. Now it starts to roll back up the field, and there's a penalty flag on the field. Here's John Saunders. That's another one of those old knock 'em down, shoot 'em up, bang, bang rivalries. Holding call goes against Ohio State. Nobody touched the punt. It just rolled dead, but in the process of the punt being made, there was a holding call. Jermaine is waiting on the sidelines and see whether or not they send him in. He's coming. It looks like.
And the decision, Keith, is made by John Cooper. It's not made by Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator. And I asked Cooper about it. He says, well, I just get a feel. You know, it's not 2 or not 3 or not 4 possessions. I just get a feel for when I want to make a change. And it looks as though after 3 possessions that Joe Germain's going to get this series.
Well, Stanley Jackson played the first quarter, and Jermaine comes on to start the second. And Ohio State will have the football first down at their own 17-yard line.
The difference is, for Michigan defensively, not as much threat of scrambling around and running around, but Jermaine is a pinpoint passer. He is outstanding.
And he's throwing on first down. And it is incomplete. Intended for David Boston. Andre Weathers just went up over the top and slapped the ball out. Clean play by Weathers.
Plain and simple. Just a stop route right in front of him. Weathers comes, makes a good play. Only a two-man route. They sent the two wide receivers out on the two corners. He threw away from Woodson to Boston, and Weathers made the play. Jim Herman said Weathers has been doing that all year long.
Second down and 10. Wisniewski, the tight end, is moving. And the ball is given to Pearson. And Pearson will get it out to about the 20-yard line for 3 yards. Here's Swanee.
Okay.
He's going to get a flag if he keeps swinging, keeps punching. Out of the shotgun, Jermaine with a little extra time lets it go down the sidelines, and D. Miller was held up over there by Weathers and had no chance. And so in the first possession with Jermaine at quarterback, it's 3 and out.
Go ahead and run the telestrator. Go ahead and run it. There's nobody open. Run it downfield. Now he's ready to throw. Stop it right here. Nobody's open. Nobody down here. Nobody is open. That's what Joe Jermaine was looking at.
And so he threw it away, and it's punting time for Bartholomew. Brent has 2 kicks so far, 49 and 38. Charles Woodson is waiting. Michigan should get its best field position out of this reception. This Bartholomew is
he's a weapon.
Oh my goodness. Back to the 22-yard line goes Woodson, and now he's back down and tackled at about the 28-yard line by Kevin Griffin. That was a 55-yard punt by Bartholomew and a 3-yard return. This 94th meeting between Michigan and Ohio State is evolving toward what so many of these games have been, field position. And that tremendous kick by Bartholomew puts Michigan all the way back on its 28-yard line. They had been thinking 40, but boom, he puts them back there. Punter is very, very important in field position for these kind of football teams. This is Chris Floyd, the big blocking fullback, getting a carry, and he's up to the 35.
The first quarter numbers, Michigan didn't do a lot, only 1 first down. The Buckeyes had 4. The 1 turnover for Ohio State, the fumble, did not hurt them. Only 4 rushing yards in the first quarter for Michigan. Michigan has been a slow starting offensive team, Keith. They score their biggest quarter of the year. It's been the second quarter.
Second down and 3. This is Howard. He got past the people in the middle, and then Berry comes up out of the secondary and popped him. Rudzinski got his legs, but it was Gary Berry, who knocked him back from the first down stake and may have prevented him from picking up the first down.
I've said it before this year. I've been impressed with this Ohio State defense, Keith. They lost 8 starters off that team from last year. This is what they've done recently since Penn State 5 games ago, but they have plugged in new guys at defensive secondary with 3 new starters. They all can cover and they all tackle.
Chris got a good mark on that and got his first down by about 6 inches. So put your football at the 38-yard line, first down Wolverine. Campbell comes in, the tight end, and Floyd comes out. That means you've got a double tight end alignment here with a single back in Chris Howard. Streets and Shaw now with motion wind up together at the bottom of the picture. Greasy back looking for him. Lets it go. He's got Shaw out there, and it is almost intercepted by Antoine Winfield.
It's a great play by Winfield. They had 2 receivers on that side, and they were trying to run Winfield off, and the trailer was who Brian was trying to get the ball to. Winfield recognized what they were doing to him, came off, and almost picked it off.
Bob, it's unbelievable. I'm watching that play from the end zone. I see exactly what they're doing. I'm looking at Winfield. He wheels off his man. Very few defensive backs have the awareness in the ball game to make that kind of play. That's spectacular.
He is outstanding.
2nd down and 10. Here comes the reverse. They start it right, give it back to Howard. Howard is turned upside down by Antoine Winfield. The man is everywhere.
He is a player.
He's 5'9" and 180.
That too.
Moyer missed him. Greasy stepped away. The pass is dropped off to Thomas. And Anthony Thomas will pick up a Michigan 1st down at the Ohio State 41-yard line before Winfield knocks him out of bounds.
Well, there's not going to be anything easy in this game, Keith, for the offensive teams. These defenses are so good and so aggressive that it's not going to be normal. You're going to have to improvise sometimes. And there, Brian does a nice job getting out, avoiding a sack, and making a completion for a 1st down.
11:40 to go in the 1st half. It's becoming the Antoine Winfield show. This is Floyd. Chris Floyd, waging in the middle, picks up about 4 yards. Rudzinski, number 35, is a linebacker from Centerville, Ohio, making that tackle.
These 2 teams defensively, Keith, are 1 and 2 in the nation in scoring and in pass coverage, pass defense. They don't take many prisoners.
From the 37, 2nd down. And it was Thomas. And it was Winfield, the 1st man to hit him.
John Cooper said of Winfield.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and John Cooper said of Winfield earlier in one of our games, he says, he is the best corner. He's playing the best football of any corner that he's ever coached. And Sean Springs was here last year, an All-American, but he clarified that to say he's playing the best football right now.
If he maintains this kind of pace through the entire ball game, he's Superman. Get him a phone booth. 3rd down and 6. Passes away, and it's off the hands of Aaron Shea, and Shea takes a wicked lick from number 13, Damon Moore. Boy, that's an intimidating kind of thing there. He's just belting.
One of the things that Ohio State is doing is they're looking for the Michigan tight ends on 3rd down. This is the route he's going to cross. This is the opposite safety from where the tight end is coming from. They're having the opposite safety look for that crossing tight end. And he comes up. That's the 2nd time he's come up and hit him.
4th down. Here's the punter, Jason Benson, his 5th of the day. It's a very, very high kick that should be caught at about the 14-yard line and is by Gary Berry. So they'll put it at the 15 officially, and we've got a timeout. All right, at 10:16 to go in the 1st half. No score. Michigan, Ohio State. Buckeyes back to the offense now with Joe Germain, 1st down at his 15-yard line. Michael Wiley is the tailback. Germain will throw it. He won't either. He is caught behind the line of scrimmage by Glenn Steele, number 81, who got him by the shirt tail, and then it was Williams who put him down.
Well, again, Keith, coverage was there downfield, and this is the thing that Germain doesn't give you, and Stanley Jackson does, is the escapability. There's Steele fighting on Goldston, and Josh Williams, number 91, I think, got a piece of it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, all right.
Josh Williams didn't play last week at Wisconsin because of a minor injury, but he's fresh. 2nd down, 11 now for the Buckeyes, and they go to a shotgun to give Germain a little more room and time. Pass is out, completed to Wiley out of the backfield, and Wiley will go down about the 20-yard line. And That'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up with Marcus Ray making the tackle.
Ohio State is used to some big plays. We talked about it earlier. No big plays so far. They've tried some, but there's been coverage. That time, Mike Jacobs, the coordinator, says just throw it out to Michael Wiley. Let him see if he can break a big play for us. Michigan defense playing very well.
Kenyon Rambo, number 4, has come on the field for Ohio State. He is a burner at an outside position. David Boston has been pretty quiet so far today. He's been involved in a lot of scuffling, but so far not much. That's a great move by Jermaine to get loose, and then he throws it away. He had Wiley on this side, but he made a great move to escape Deani Jones.
And there was nobody open. They had a lot of pressure. And what's happening, Keith, is on 3rd downs, Charles Woodson is going with David Boston. There's Gold, the linebacker, number 20, coming unabated. And Joe just making a nice move to get outside and get rid of it.
Yeah, it's Gold in as a blitzer instead of Deani Jones. Those two, Gold and Jones, are the fastest of the linebackers in foot speed and their ability to get to a man. And here's the punt by Bartholomew, his 4th of the day. It's another good one. Woodson back inside the 30. Trying to get a little help on that side. There were 2 people over there, but he couldn't effectively get to them and get behind them. And so a 51-yard punt and an 8-yard return. First down from the 38-yard line for Michigan. 8:28 to go in a scoreless ball game in the first half. Reese's pass is completed to the tight end, Aaron Shea. And Shea, who has been battered some, makes a play, drops a shoulder, and does some punishing of his own.
This is a play, the playbook, Michigan playbook we showed a little earlier. Brian faking to the running back, going one way and rolling out. Ohio State is ready for this play, Keith, but like I say, Shea made the reception, and nothing is going to be easy. Shea at the left of your screen. Right there. I mean, Moore, Damon Moore, 13, they're looking for it.
Last time they met, Moore decked him with a wicked shot to the head. This time, Shea won. This is Chris Howard getting what appears to be a first down before Winfield comes up and nails him. I figure I've got Winfield, Michigan with 24 plays, and Winfield has had 7 tackles now and broken up 5 passes. That's not bad.
Like you say, he's 5'9", 180 pounds, and his primary job is to cover the speed guys on the outside.
He was crafted from an old anvil.
Yes.
Tied together with hamstrings. 7:59 to go. First down, Michigan. We see a little play action. Got a lot of time out of it. Passes away, and it's incomplete. He was looking downfield for Tuman, and Tuman had broken it off, and it was overthrown. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, I just kind of wanted to give you my take on Antoine Whitfield as a cornerback now. He's small. He's not going to challenge a lot of the receivers at the line of scrimmage. What he tends to do, let them come off, watch the play develop, and then break on the ball, break on the receiver, inflicting the hit. But he also watches the backfield so he can come up and make the run stop. You know, you compare him to Woodson. Woodson's bigger. He's got great speed. He challenged the receivers more at the line of scrimmage, Keith.
Winfield right now has got the bigger numbers. This is Anthony Thomas, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Number 68, Winfield Garnett. The big tackle made that penetration. You got a hand on him.
Well, if you're an offensive person, you're not wild about this graphic. Only 79 yards each team, and we're midway through the second quarter. It's been a defensive game up to this point.
You've got Charles Woodson in the ball game now, along with Kevin Bryant. That's 2 and 22. Shaw and Street stay in, so you effectively have 4 wide receivers now on the field out of the shotgun formation. Good blocking up front, giving Greasy time to throw down the middle to Woodson. Woodson on the run and tripped from behind. A touchdown saving tackle by Antoine Winfield.
Woodson, he's going to go down and come to the center of the field. Key here is the protection. He has enough time to throw. He moves around a little bit. Now Winfield's the bottom of your screen. If he doesn't make this tackle, Woodson's in the end zone.
Yep. Well, that's 8 tackles. First down, Michigan at the Ohio State 16-yard line. Run it with Chris Floyd. Inside the 5, down to the 1. Damon Moore finally wrestled big Chris Floyd down. He's 231 pounds, and he's a load.
This is the play that sets it up. Chris Floyd, Keith, well, you could just see when he gets through the line, he's a fullback that blocks the line, says, no safety is going to take me down short of where I want to get. He just holding on for some friends.
First and goal. Ball to Thomas. Touchdown.
The pass to Charles Woodson that made that drive.
Craig Baker for the extra point. And it's good. And so 6:22 to play in the first half. Michigan gets the lead 7-0. By Anthony Thomas scoring, but it was the big fullback Chris Floyd that got it close. This ball is taken by Kenyon Rambo, a wide receiver, a freshman, dancing up the sideline to about the 26-yard line. Wolverines leading 7-0. Ohio State with the ball. First down at the 26-yard line. Joe Germain, the quarterback for the Buckeyes. Deep man is Wiley. Boston is still quiet. This is Wiley. Not much. Number 91, Josh Williams, got him first. Fizel was there to help. And here's John Saunders. And John thinks. Second down, 9. Jermaine hit behind the line of scrimmage by Joaquin Fizel, number 90.
Here's Fizel right here. It's going to be a slow fake, and he's going to get in there. Anytime you delay anything in the backfield against Michigan, nobody blocks him. He pulls. Fizel reads it nicely, and it's a big sack. I tell you, when you fool around in the secondary against this Michigan defensive line the way they're rushing, you're taking a big chance.
It is 3rd and 20 after Fizel's sack. Ball at the 17. Woodson and Boston at the bottom of the picture. They go the other way with it. And Matt Keller, the fullback, will get it out to about the 23-yard line, and the Buckeyes will have to punt. And it's Fizel who makes the big play in that defensive series. And once again, Michigan should come out of this with very good field position. So, as we've noted already, Bartholomew is special.
In a field position game, a good punter like Bartholomew is priceless.
Snap is low, but he gets it out all right. Oh, my goodness, look at this. He runs Woodson all the way back to the 22-yard line. Woodson's got one block, and another block. One more, and he's gone. Touchdown, no flag. Craig Baker for the point. Blocked it. Katzenmoyer has it. Rumbling down the sideline. Sweat finally takes him down. Andy Katzenmoyer almost scored
2 points.
2 points after blocking the extra point try.
Here's a look at the punt return. You know, Keith, Woodson has not returned a punt for more than 15 or 20 yards all season long. In fact, Shaw done a better job of it, but this time he breaks some tackles. The only guy that can break tackles for Winfield gets blocked on the punt return, and the speed of Woodson's going to carry him through this one.
Leandre Brown was the number 18 man who made that last block that freed him. And it's 13-0 as they finally track down Katzenmoyer. Andy his tank got a little empty down around the 20-yard line, and they finally caught him.
And the reason that was a big play is because in college football, if you block an extra point try, the defense can run it back and score 2 points if they get to the end zone. That's what Andy was going for.
He almost got there. But it's Woodson who has electrified this massive crowd to put Michigan out to a 13-0 lead at 3:43 to play in the first half.
Almost an afterthought, but Keith, that low extra point kick by Baker, we were talking to Lloyd Carr yesterday, and he was kind of in between which kicker that he wanted to use, and that may be a big extra point block for Ohio State if they can get back going here.
Well, Feely did the place kicking, Jay Feely, last week up at Wisconsin.
Yeah, after had a kick blocked by Baker.
Here's Feely kicking it off. Ball is fielded at the 10-yard line by Michael Wiley. He's a tailback. And he brings it up to about the 25-yard line. Here's Swannick.
There's Charles on the sideline, Keith. He's trying to get some wind, get some strength back in those legs. He's not on defense right now.
Ball is at the 26-yard line. It is William Peterson who is out there, and he's a freshman from Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
He's lined up on Boston.
If they go to it. Nope. Come back this way. Throw it to Pearson. And it is incomplete. Off the hands of Pearson. Copenhaver was covering on the play at 3:29 to go in the first half. And here's John. That thing out in the West Coast is so complicated, it makes you want to eat your pencils while you try to figure it out. Second down and 10. Throws it over the head of Matt Keller. So that's pressure, pressure, pressure. James Hall was in his face.
Joe Germain is 1 of 6 completions for 6 yards. This is his 4th possession. The first 3 possessions he was in on, he was 3 and out.
Buckeyes need something dramatic to happen for them before they go to the clubhouse.
Bottom line, Keith, the 2-quarterback system, Stanley Jackson was doing a better job of moving around. When things weren't there, he took off running, and that's how Ohio State was moving when he was in there.
Charles Woodson is back now in the secondary against Boston. They have effectively shut him down so far. That ball is thrown down the middle. He does not catch the ball. It rolled loose, but it was never in possession. Ian Gold, that quick-footed linebacker, was the man covering on the play.
Well,
so again, they got to punt it.
Looking for Boston. Boston was tripped up. The ball was on him before he knew it, and then he dropped it.
Bartholomew is in to punt.
There is no question that the Michigan defense is looking for David Boston.
That's what a little pre-game conversation that's printed will get for you. Special attention. Russell Shaw is the deep man, not Woodson. He's taking a blow on the sideline.
10 seconds.
And want a little more time put back on the clock. Slippery Rock is out to a lead, as you can see, in one of their annuals. North Alabama. Boy, that, I'm telling you, that Bogger Wallace does something down there at that school. He is. Oh, wow. We're waiting to put the 3:10 on the clock. Now we're ready to go. Bartholomew's in to punt, and Russell Shaw is waiting for it for Michigan. Unless Bartholomew hits another one of those 50-yard-plus howitzers, they should get pretty good field position. He's got 3 kicks today over 50 yards.
And the last one was run back for a touchdown.
Yes, 55 punt, 78-yard return. This one's a little lower. It's another good kick, but Shaw might have a little room here. He gets a couple of blocks. They didn't get it. Big up a little Williams.
I know what you mean.
This is Anthony Thomas carrying the ball, and he hits it out to about the 35-yard line. There was a goodly sprinkling of snow during the course of the night. When I looked out the window at dawn this morning, it was quite white. But it's mostly gone by now, and actually not an unpleasant afternoon.
No, it's for the players. It's a great football day, Keith, and the fans are quite comfortable. No wetness, no dampness.
Ty Streets remains quiet today, as does Shaw. Single back, Reese dropping, pressure coming, setting up something. Got a block for Thomas, and Anthony Thomas got his block, got the ball, and took it big. He's across on the Ohio State side of the field.
Michigan, a big screening team, and Brian does a nice job of baiting the defensive linebackers in to think that they're going to get something on him and then dumping it off. And the only reason that play worked because Winfield was downfield, covered somebody, Keith. He eventually will make the play.
Yeah, he ran all the way back
Watch
up
this.
and made the tackle.
Rudzinski there, nice throw, in stride. Now, at the top left of the screen, there was Winfield down covered.
And timeout spent here by Michigan. I think they had 12 people on the field for one thing. 2:19 to play, and they were running out of time on the play clock. Two minutes and 19 seconds to go in the half. 13-0 Michigan, and it came bang bang. All of a sudden, just before you could blink an eye, you get the big pass play, the good run by Floyd, and then you get the punt return for the touchdown in the following series. This is Thomas again, Anthony Thomas, and he keeps going the ball. And I think, well, let me wait and see here. He came out.
It's always a problem when the running back or the receiver is fighting for more yardage and somebody is holding on to him.
I think Michigan got
somebody knocked the ball out.
Looked like a blue shirt went after it. And it is Michigan ball.
Well, let's watch Antoine Winfield right here. He's either going to strip it or Barrio's going to get it. I think it's Winfield.
Yep. He's done everything else. He might as well.
He can play on my team any day.
Yes, sir. Give me 11 of them, and I'll take you on in the parking lot.
I'll take him on one side and Woodson on the other, and I'll go play you.
Wow. Ball is at the 42-yard line. 2nd down and 3. And it is Floyd. Nothing. He's behind the line of scrimmage. Kevin Johnson, number 52, made the penetration for Ohio State. .1925. 3rd down. Greasy looking around. Now he's going to go. He bounced around for a while, but eventually Winfield Garnett came in and got him.
He was looking for Charles Woodson, and there was about 3 guys around Charles.
Ty Streets was over here on the sidelines, relatively quiet. He had men, but
if you had that helmet on and you were back there, who would you look for?
Well, of course.
First.
By the time you get Winfield Garnett blurring your vision, you don't have a lot of brothers.
That's true.
57 seconds to play in the half. And it'll be 4th down for Michigan. Michigan with 2 timeouts remaining, Ohio State with 1. In comes Jason Benson to punt, and he's been busy.
And I think this is a good, Michigan has had some problems with their snapping. As I look at Boston, he's been dangerous as a returner, and Michigan has had some problems with their punt team throughout the season. So John Cooper says, let's have him punt it.
Poultry does the snapping. Good one. Kicks away. Good kick. Boston takes it at the 5. Trying to get help around the corner and can't. Number 57 got a piece of him and slowed him down. And then they finally track him down at the 10, and his penalty flag thrown at the 10-yard line. 47-yard punt with a 6-yard return and 42 seconds to play in the half. Copenhaver is hobbling a bit after that play. Looks like it's his left leg. Illegal use of hands by Ohio State. Not too many things have gone terribly well for them here in the first half.
Ohio State possessions, they've punted every time except the one time that they fumbled. The first 3 possessions were Stanley Jackson. The last 4, Joe Germain. Neither quarterback getting a lot done.
And Michigan leading 13-0. John Cooper 171 in his 10 years against these Michigan Wolverines.
That's true, Keith, but he's 35-4 over his last 39 games. And although he's not done well against Michigan, he has been first or second in the Big Ten the last 5 years and won a Rose Bowl last year.
And it's a total rebuild team this year.
No question.
All right, Wisniewski comes in, a tight end, and that sends D. Miller out. So that means a double tight end alignment perhaps for Ohio State as they come out with 42 seconds.
Offensively here, Keith, I think what you try to do is you've got a lot of explosive players. The first thing you don't want to do is turn it over. Don't make any silly mistakes to get Michigan some points.
Miller went to the sideline, turned around, and comes right back.
Yeah. Secondly, if you can get the ball to one of your big play guys on something safe, like a quick hitch or a little swing pass or something easy, or hand it to one of your guys that can go all the way, that's what you're looking to do.
Keller is in the backfield. Michael Wiley is the tailback.
Wiley has great speed. Boston can
you don't move
make
the ball,
plays.
that's all I'm saying.
From the flag. That's what I'm told. It's part of the flag.
I never heard that before.
Wiley out of the end zone. Finds some daylight. Michael Wiley runs it out of the trouble. Gets it all the way across the 20 and out to about the 24. James Whitley, the tackle for Michigan. It's first down, Ohio State. 35 seconds to go in the half.
So look at the pits. Walter, number 77, does a nice job.
Yeah, he got Glenn Steele turned inside.
Yeah, I think Steele was slanting in there anyway, Keith.
Just let him go. Took him, used his own momentum. Germain.
Little dash route, a dash for the quarterback, get outside the pocket.
Now he's across the line of scrimmage by 3 yards. Charles Woodson defending on Boston, but Joe was across the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
Ball was knocked up in the air and almost picked off.
There are multiple fouls on the play, both against the offense. Ineligible receiver, downfield, illegal forward pass.
Illegal forward pass, that's loss of down, right?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. There's only 18 seconds left in the half, and they're going to be backed up. So John Cooper may just, well, they may try it one more time, try to get it to Wiley or Boston, and let's see if they can break it, split something down the middle. It's got to be frustrating for offensively for this team. They're averaging 33 points a game coming in, and they're going to be shut out here in the first half, it looks like.
A year ago, it was Michigan shut out in the first half, if you recall. 9-0 Ohio State
Illegal
at
forward
halftime.
pass against the offense is declined. Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense is accepted. 5 yards, previous spot, replay, first down.
Good look at Glenn Steele. He's been playing great football, Keith, as you know.
He's been up against some tough customers, too. That fella McIntosh up at Wisconsin last week gave him a hard time.
Last year in this ball game, he was going up against Orlando Pace.
Yep.
And probably did as well against Orlando Pace as anybody did in college football.
Wisconsin is over at Penn State today. A meaningful ball game in the Big Ten. It's first down and 15 now. I'm not sure why they accepted that particular penalty.
Just pushing back.
It's tougher. That's a takedown on Matt Keller at about the 20-yard line. And that's going to run out the clock. So Michigan has no turnovers, only one penalty in the first half, 2 bang-bang plays, and they lead at halftime over the Ohio State Buckeyes by a score of 13-0.
Stanley Jackson looks like he's going to be starting. He is the emotional leader, the captain of this team. Saying a few words there to David Boston.
Jay Feely kicks it off for Michigan, and the Buckeyes now ready to go in the second half, down by 13 points. This is Rambo, the freshman speedster wide receiver, working his way back to about the 28-yard line before James Whitley brings him down. Now Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, football is always a game of adjustment.
All right, Jackson settles in at quarterback on first down at the 28-yard line. You have a single back, and Jackson runs a quarterback draw. So they start with a quarterback draw, and it's good for about 6 yards as Deonte Jones makes the tackle. As I said, Michigan is undefeated, ranked number 1 in the AP. The coaches have them number 2, Ohio State number 4. There's big bucks bowls waiting for both these teams. And Gary Dorn, the president of the Tournament of Roses, is here with a bundle of roses. In case Michigan wins the ball game, the Wolverines would lock up the ticket to Pasadena. Second down and 3. And this is Pearson being caught behind the line of scrimmage by Andre Weathers, who plays the boundary corner position for Michigan, and he gets nothing out of the play.
Rob Sweat coming up doing a nice job. It's interesting. John Cooper deciding to go back to Stanley Jackson. I think that's a good move, Keith. Stanley Jackson got some things going in the first 3 possessions. They at least crossed midfield every time that Stanley was in the game.
It is third and a long 3 now for the Buckeyes. Blitzing, gets it away, incomplete. It was intended for the tight end Lumpkin, and Ohio State starts the second half pretty much the same way they played the first half.
The tight ends, especially John Lumpkin, is not where Ohio State wants to throw the football. They want to throw it to their wide receivers or their backs, and that was a good defense by Michigan.
So in is Bartholomew. He will have his 7th punt now, with Charles Woodson dropping back to accept it for Michigan. And Charles giving him a little more room now that he's experienced the Boomers. And they fake it. And it goes up the middle with Rudzinski, the linebacker, a blocker there. And Rudzinski runs it up the pipe and picks up a first down for Ohio State.
It's a big call by John Cooper, and something, a momentum thing, something to get you going.
So they snap it crooked and short, and Rudzinski runs for a big play for the Buckeyes.
Well, here's Rudzinski. Go ahead and run it right up the middle. That's a nice call by John Cooper, and you know, you do that, Keith, if you've got pretty good field position. That was pretty good field position, but if that didn't work, that would have given Michigan awfully good field position going the other way. But it worked, and it's a great call.
John's up against it. He's got to get something going.
Exactly.
20-yard pickup on the play. That's their longest run of the day. Hand the ball off to Pearson, and Pearson is caught and finally dragged down about the 40-yard line. Tommy Hendricks, 41, had a hold of him and held him until Marcus Ray got there to help. That's good for 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Something new, a little hurry-up offense. I like this.
He was so hurry up, they were mixed up.
Yeah,
and so Stanley Jackson calls a timeout at 13:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Buckeyes trying to stir the pot. Ohio State owns the football. 2nd down and 5 at the Michigan 40-yard line. On 4th down, linebacker in to block on the punt. Took the snap short, ran up the middle for a 1st down to midfield, 15 yards, and got him moving. Jerry Rudzinski. And now here are the Buckeyes trying to go hurry up. That didn't work. They took a time, got organized, and now they take a long count trying to tease the Michigan defense. And now Jackson calls his play. And it's Pepe Pearson wiggling around over the right side and getting across the 35, inside the 35 for a 1st down. Deani Jones, the tackle.
You look at the pit, the offensive line doing a nice job. The fullback, 23, gets a nice block there. Matt Keller. Fullbacks in this game don't get a lot of credit, Keith. They both do a lot of the dirty work, the blocking, catch a few passes.
So from the 35 now for the Buckeyes. Jackson dropped, throws it. He's got Miller. And Miller has a 1st down for Ohio State inside the 10 in front of Charles Woodson.
They showed the start of an option, and then Jackson steps back, watches, he's going to go down the line. It's an option look, holds the linebackers, and then throws it over. That's a good call by Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator.
It's 1st and goal, Ohio State at the Michigan 9-yard line. Buckeyes trailing 13-0. Keller. And Matt will have a couple. Tommy Hendricks and Josh Williams. Williams had the big penetration, forcing him to change direction.
Teams have not been inside Michigan's 20-yard line that often, only 15 times.
Wisniewski, a tight end, brings the play in for Ohio State. Boston coming to the bottom of the picture. Jackson throws in the middle. By Woodson.
There's a look from the left side. Stanley Jackson did not see this the whole way. He was looking to the outside and came back. You can't go that straight up field down there. D. Miller was going too far straight up the field, and Woodson cut underneath him.
And got his 7th interception of the year to lead the Big Ten Conference from the 20-yard line, Chris Floyd. And knocked down just short of the 20, Andy Katzenmoyer. It's remarkable how well he goes laterally. You just can hardly run around the man.
Katzenmoyer.
Yes. You've got to put a solid block on him or he'll track you down.
Most teams try to run right at him. Keith, he's 260, but you'd say, well, you don't want to run somebody that big, but his quickness and going around in. The disappointment. Ohio State had some good going, and then the disappointment of taking it away.
That's Anthony Thomas out of Winfield, Louisiana, carrying, and Rudzinski steps up here to get a tackle. Woodson now has 17 interceptions in his career. And in case it's part of your conversation, chances are yes, he'll be playing on Sunday next year.
Well, You know that Lloyd Carr hopes not, but I think, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say. Certainly has had a great career at Michigan.
Certainly has. Third down and 10.
Here they come.
It's away, and it's incomplete. Ty Streets is begging for a little help from one of the men wearing the striped shirt, saying he was being mugged, but he doesn't get any sympathy.
I think he was throwing that to the tight end who was covered, just threw it away, yeah.
But Streets was being mugged.
Yeah. Ohio State's going to get great field position back after this punt, Keith.
Fourth down. And the kick is away by Benson. It's a high one, but it's not too long, and Boston drifts under it with fair catch ball at his own 44, 45-yard line, and there they will start. So that's very good field position after a 36-yard punt by Jason Benson. Well, there's Antoine Winfield. All he needs to do is get over on the other side a little bit. Back goes Jackson. And he's got a problem. Still struggling, now throws it. Intercepted! He threw it right to Andre Weathers, and Weathers will score a touchdown. Oh, that could be a will breaker.
The last two passes that Stanley Jackson has thrown were the first two passes he had intercepted this year. In fact, he had thrown 150 coming into the game without an interception.
Baker's in for the point. Greg better get this one in the air. He'll become a spectator again. That one's up and through. It's Feely. Feely, all right. It's Feely, 49, getting that kick. Okay. So Craig Baker had one blocked, and that got him on the bench last week, and Feely comes right on this week and does the same thing. But here's the interception, the struggle, the eternal effort, trying to do more than you can, and he was in the grasp of Sam Sword, tried to deliver the ball, simply couldn't do it, and it went right into the stomach of Andre Weathers, who swallowed it.
Sometimes quarterbacks try to do too much.
Yep.
They don't want to ever give up on the play. Instead of just taking a sack and falling down, they want to keep it alive. And he's probably done that, Keith, several times in his career. He's fought, he stayed up on his feet, broken loose, and made big plays. He's the captain of this team. He knew coming out he was going to get a chance to bring this team back. He had him down inside the 10-yard line. And instead of getting some points on the board for his team, threw the interception to Woodson. And then the cardinal sin of throwing an interception going the other way to give the other team 7 points.
Michigan has scored on a 1-yard run, a 78-yard punt return, and a 44-yard interception return, and lead 20-0. The kickoff to Rambo at the 1. To the 16, and that'll do it. DeAndre Brown belted him, and here's John Saunders. That's a pretty good scuffle, though. It's been a while since, Kentucky has given Tennessee that much trouble. Coach got a new contract, too, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and he should have.
First down from the 16-yard line with Joe Germain now in at quarterback. He had to come because Stanley obviously was terribly upset after that last play. Ball is across the 20 and out near the 21 for Matt Keller. 20-0 with 10 minutes to play in the third quarter.
And not only is Ohio State down 20 points with a whole second half to play, but emotionally and mentally they are down, Keith. the last 2 possessions, the first one out, moving the ball down and not getting the points, and then the second possession, throwing the interception, going the other way. They've got to overcome 20 points and their emotions.
Sure, it's just a will breaker.
Yeah.
It's just brutal to the emotional level. Boston's out here on Weathers, but they run it. Michigan defense is on fire now as Rob Renas penetrates and gets the sack. Well, the loss on the play. Actually, not a sack. Renas just blew everybody out of the middle to make that play.
I think this is Renas here. Watch as he's going to come in. The defensive line, Renas just splits him, runs through the fullback. He fought through 3 different offensive players to make the tackle. He's a wrestler, a high school wrestling champion out of the state of Michigan.
It is 3rd and 11 for Ohio State, and they are, to be sure, beleaguered right now. Jermaine's pass, incomplete. Dee Miller and Jermaine were not on the same page.
Well, let me tell you, I'm looking downfield. There is nobody open.
And so the Buckeyes have to punt. It's Woodson waiting for Bartholomew's kick. Can't find the crack, but Michigan gets the ball back with very good field position at their own 48-yard line. Kevin Griffin, another tackle. First down, 48-yard line. And Woodson is at the top of the picture. Reese lets it go to Ty Streets, and it's a little long. He went down the near side with Ty Streets, who hasn't seen the ball much today, and Antoine Winfield was with him, but Streets has a huge height advantage at 6'4" over Winfield's 5'9".
And the decoy was on the other side of the field. Charles Woodson to the wide side. Brian threw it to the short side.
And it's 2nd down and 10.
First half numbers.
Anthony Thomas in motion. Blitz coming, throw it to Thomas, coming down the middle. He needs to break a tackle, and he couldn't do it. He pops out of that tackle at Damon Moore, and he might still be running.
That was a nice play by Damon Moore. You're right.
It was.
Yes. It was one of those wide receiver screens. They call it the jailbreak. Watch 13 Moore. He's going to fight his way through some of the offensive players and defensive backs to get in there and make that stop.
It is 3rd and a long yard now for the Wolverines. Ball at the Ohio State 44. Pair of tight ends, Campbell and Toomer. They'll run it. Thomas lost that ball, but he looked like he scooped it back up, and it was on the ground, and the whistles were blowing. So apparently it's still Michigan's ball, but certainly not certain that he made his first down. Jim Kimmerling, the referee, the man in the white hat.
I think the thing here that you have to remember, both sides, is not stop. Don't stop playing football. Michigan got some breaks. They're up 20 points. You know, don't stop playing. And the same is true for John Cooper's Buckeyes. A turnover, a pickoff, a fumble to run the other way. We got a lot of time to play, and we certainly can score points. We've done it all year.
Well, it looked like the Bucks were going to turn the momentum a bit until that Weathers interception.
That was crucial.
Killer. Here's Floyd trying to wedge out a yard or so, and that's just about what he gets. 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. In a bit of a disappointing year for BYU, but look out. The history is that Lavelle Edwards Cougars come back after having a down year. And that ball is off the hands of Anthony Thomas. Couldn't reel it in. And so it's going to be 3rd down.
The defensive backs, defensive coverage. I'm impressed with Ohio State defensively. Fred Pugic and his defensive group. Michigan has only scored 1 touchdown. on this defensive group, and Winfield has been right there and been everywhere. The defensive backs, good coverage, and good against the run.
They got scored on a yard run and a 78-yard punt return and a 44-yard interception return. 3rd down and 9. And down goes Greasy behind the line of scrimmage with number 95 Jim Bell out of Youngstown, fighting through there to get him for the sack. And Michigan will punt.
Trying to run Woodson on that same route that he's had that long play on earlier. Did a better job of coverage.
Wolverines were in a position there with that good field position to start the possession. If they stuck it in the end zone there, I think this party's over. But it's still on at 20-0. And David Boston waits for Jason Benson's 8th punt of the day. Penalty flag. Not a very good kick. Will not be returned. It's out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. But let's see about the flag.
The Michigan end was moving when the ball was snapped.
It's only a 30-yard punt.
Interesting decision here. The ball's on the 19-yard line. I would think that Coop would have him repunt it and try and
Illegal shift on the offense. A lineman was moving. Repeat. 4th down. 5-yard penalty.
That's quite a festive event. I went to it. Enjoyed it very much.
3 Big Ten coaches on that list,
Yep.
I noticed.
So here's the re-kick after the penalty. Oh, it comes bouncing back, and it's almost blocked. I don't know how in the world he got it out, but he did. And it hits like a knuckleball, and it goes dead at about the 28-yard line. Percy King almost blocked it, and it was Percy King that blocked the extra point.
Here comes 17 from the left side.
Oh, shook, he said. I almost had it. So Ohio State trailing 20-0 with 6:04 to play in the 3rd quarter will start at their own 28-yard line. It's Joe Germain at quarterback. It's Pepe Pearson with the ball. Marcus Ray and company. Sam Sword et al. Will take him down, and here's John. Duke's gotten a little tougher in the tail end of the season.
They
haven't
have. Doing well.
2nd down and 4 for Ohio State. Germain looking to throw it. It's Miller. Miller's got the 1st down. Moves the ball out to the 44-yard line.
That's the first down for Joe Germain in this ball game.
Had time to look around. Hard to complete passes on your back.
Well,
or with a big old 300-pounder in your face trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, they have confidence in Joe Germain to bring him back, Keith. I mean, he's done it before. I remember the Rose Bowl game last year where he was the most valuable player.
David Boston still has no receptions. Going big. Yeah, he's got one. Oh, my goodness. He turns around and taunts Charles Woodson. And he's going to take a flag for it. He caught the ball. He almost dropped that one, but he finally caught it. And the official on that side was right there, and as he taunted him, he threw the flag.
Single coverage. He's just going to run right by him. Woodson is beat. Now he catches up and doesn't find the ball. Germain gets it out there, and David brings it in.
Oh, the officials have huddled now as to what to do about this. Here's the call. Unsportsmanlike conduct call against Ohio State.
And that comes on the extra point try.
Now Cooper is going to lay down some business to him on this.
And he's telling him right now, you can't do that. We're behind.
Well, it took away the dignity and class of the moment.
Well, that's true also.
On the offense,
Very true.
15 yards on the try. The touchdown is good.
He had a great play. He had the touchdown of the ball game, and he tarnished it.
That's right.
Well, Keith, I think the most important thing here is that, Ohio State's behind, but 3 touchdowns to give them 21 points if they convert. But right now, he has to go back to field goal range for the conversion for 1 point. If he doesn't make it, that means they've got to go for 2 just to be ahead by 1, Keith. It's a big mistake if he doesn't make it.
Dan Stoltz has a big leg. 35 yards. It's good. And so at 4:50 to play in the third quarter, it's now 28-7. And like Yoke said, ain't over till it's over. Stoltz will kick off now for the Buckeyes at 4:50 to play in the third quarter. This youngster's got a big leg. Yard deep in the end zone for Anthony Thomas. And Thomas is back to the 18-yard line. Brought down by Kevin Griffin. One more time for Kevin. And here's John. Receiver ran 50 yards on the play.
Yeah. Well, it's a good swing pass.
First down and 10. This is Anthony Thomas pounding ahead for about 5 yards. One thing about Tennessee is they've always, it seems to me, as long as I've been around them, going back almost to Neyland days, they do things with it after they catch it.
Well, they've always had good wide receivers.
Yes,
is what
they
you're
have.
saying.
Yep.
Michigan's offense today has had the ball 9 times, and they've punted it 8 of those 9 times. The other time they scored a touchdown.
Second down and 4. Got 6 yards on that first down play. Greasy flushed. Goes to the 30, and that's a first down. Andy Katzenmoyer brought him down. And Andy could have laid a lick on him, but he didn't. He just made a tackle on him.
The one thing that Brian has done well all year is, first of all, taking care of the ball. And secondly, it seems like converting third downs into first downs. Either throwing the ball or just scrambling and getting as much as you can and getting down.
Blitz coming. It's Moore, and they run it inside. Moore can't quite get there in time. And that blitzer was almost offside. Chris Floyd working inside with it. Number 52 getting up kind of tenderly for Michigan. That'd be Chris Zeman.
This offense has been good all year in taking the ball and keeping it. To lead the Big Ten in time of possession, and that's exactly what they want to do.
Second and 8. Thomas. First down. That's a tough run.
It was a well-blocked.
Good blocking.
And this is what Michigan wants. They want to take some time off the clock. The defense has played a lot in the second half. They want to just take some time, get the ball down there, and if anything, at least get 3 on the board.
.250 to play in the third quarter. Thomas now 38 yards on 9 carries and 57 yards on 5 catches. John Jansen's now moved over to the left tackle spot. Dave Brandt's moved up into the guard spot, and Zeman's gone over to a tackle. Another loss of a body in that offensive front. That tackle is made by Kevin Johnson on Anthony Thomas, and he'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. So Michigan rolling the clock right now. Ohio State with 2 times out remaining. Just getting on the scoreboard with that long pass play to Boston from Joe Germain. It's a 20-7 ball game. And a missed extra point is why it's 20-7. Blocked. 2nd down and 7. Thomas again. Boy, that's tough stuff. He's got another first down at the Ohio State 46-yard line. He put his hat on Gary Berry and drove him back 3 yards.
Well, one of the reasons, Keith, is because they got Katzenmoyer and got him out of the play. Here's a look at Katzenmoyer right here. Play is going to eventually come right up at him. Mike DeBoard was telling us yesterday that they wanted to run right at him.
Aaron Shea, number 36, a tight end, got a good hit on him as they doubled him. And you almost have to double him. First down for the Wolverines. Tubin has been pretty quiet today so far. Made one great catch. That's a long play. Ball on the ground, and the fight's on, and it's Ohio State's football. So the Wolverines turn it over at midfield. It was Jim Bell that laid the lick that knocked it loose. Rodney Bailey covered it with his big body.
Eventually, keep your patience and poise, things will turn around for you. And right there, 2 of the defensive linemen in the backfield making the hit.
Well, Keith, Bob, I got to tell you, that was a courageous effort by the Michigan offensive line because they're hurting pretty badly. Jeff Backus is not playing in their form because of that ankle, and Zach Adamy, guys, he had to literally pull himself up off the ground after every play, and he limped off the field. Keith?
All right, it's first down just inside the 50-yard line. Wolverines try to blitz. They do. They get to Germain. They knock him down. Rob Renus stopped initially, fought his way through the pile, and sacked the Ohio State quarterback. They were trying to go big.
They were looking downfield, Keith. And because it took too long, 58 is Renus right in the middle of the screen. Watch him as he's going to roll out of the block of Gilbert, 64. Renus not known for rushing the passer. In fact, came in with only 3 sacks on the year.
So it's a loss of very close to 10 yards. They're going to call it 2nd down and 19. Put it back at the 40. This is Keller. And Steele and Williams get him. 81 Steele, 91 Josh Williams.
Michigan defense has only given up 3 touchdown passes on the year. Take a look at Steele from the other side of the field. He weighs 290 pounds, 6'5". He just hustling all over the place.
Into the 3rd quarter. So it's 20-7, Michigan leading Ohio State. To the final quarter of play in this 94th renewal of Michigan-Ohio State, being played in Ann Arbor at Michigan Stadium. Michigan leads 20-7. Ohio State with the football, 3rd down and 17. Germain on the shotgun. Boston gets his 2nd catch of the day in front of Ian Gold, but it is not a first down. So they'll have to punt on 4th and 3.
Well, they're lining up to punt. They ran the fake from their own 35-yard line, but I don't know if they do this twice in a row.
Woodson going deep for Bartholomew's kick. Woodson's got it at the 10. Needs a little help. He's in trouble. And he's down at the 10. Scores are getting pretty feisty now. Officials have to get in the middle of it quickly.
Got a new center in there for Michigan, Keith.
Had to do it because Adamy could barely stand up. The pass is away to the sidelines to Anthony Thomas from the 10-yard line. And he's out of bounds somewhere in the neighborhood of the 17-18.
But you got in there now for Michigan.
No, it's still Adamy.
Was it Adamy in there? Okay.
He can hardly move around,
Yeah.
but he's in there. Well, if they have to take him out and he's got a strained muscle, then Steve Frazier's listed behind him, but it's possible that Jensen, I guess, could go.
Well, they've already moved 3 guys around that offensive line right now.
It's been a tough day on the offensive front. Ball is dropped by Greasy, and he'll take it and take the hit. Did not get off the snap cleanly.
Well, Adamy has a strained muscle in his lower back, and if he can't get the ball up right, then that's you do have to get him out of there.
They'll have to do something.
Yeah, because that's the first thing that the center has to do is get the center quarterback exchange.
At 13.5 minutes to play, it's Michigan ball, 3rd down and 4, just outside their own 15. A punt from here is going to give Ohio State very good field position, and they're coming. And the ball is loose. It is picked up by the Buckeyes, and it is down at about the 2-yard line. Jerry Rudzinski knocked the ball loose. Gary Berry knocked it loose, and Rudzinski covered it.
The thing that set this whole thing up, Keith, was the punt down inside the 10-yard line. And then Bryant trying to get some yardage outside. Berry is the free safety. He's in on a blitz, does a nice job of stripping. And Ohio State is right back in this ball game.
1st and goal to go at the 2-yard line. Number 35 is Rudzinski diving on it. At 13:12 to play in the ball game. And it very quickly can be a 20-14 ball game. Turnovers.
Good every time.
Yes, sir. Germain to Pearson. Touchdown. There's Rudzinski, who covered that fumble. There's the man who caused it. There's the man who scored the touchdown for the Buckeyes.
The emotions of the game, Keith, just a short while ago, Ohio State was down by 20. A big play to Boston, a turnover, and a touchdown. They're right back in it.
The punter, Bartholomew, holds for the extra point. Stoltz will kick it. Snapper is Kevin Hauser. Good. Just a 6-point ball game now with 13:08 to play.
Ohio State takes a touchdown and scores it. They'll be up by 6 points. Michigan only up by 6 points. That is a key block in this ball game right now, Keith. Both coaches on the sidelines.
Buckeyes kick it off. Stoltz hammers it. Coming up on it is Anthony Thomas. And Thomas gets it out to about the 33-yard line. So now let's see who comes out for the Michigan offense. Chris Howard has not been heard from in a long time. Anthony Thomas has been doing most of the work.
And Keith, let me tell you why Chris Howard has not been heard from. He is down on the sideline in street clothes and an overcoat. He came down that way in the second half. He suffered a minor concussion in the second half. We did not hear about it. So when he just came back, he blended in. So he's on the sideline with a concussion, Keith.
All right. Roll it out and throw it off the hands of Aaron Shea. Tight end.
Somebody's got to make a play for Michigan. They're losing their offensive players. Their left tackle, Backus, is out. Howard, the running back, and one of the seniors is out of the ball game. Adamy, the center, is struggling with a strain. The momentum is wearing a white shirt here right now, Pete.
Ray Jackson was in on that play as the single back. Now Anthony Thomas goes back in with Chris Floyd. So Ray Jackson comes out, and that puts Anthony Thomas back into the deep back position, and he gets the ball. Buckeyes bring him down at about the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
This Buckeye defense has been good all day long. As we mentioned, the Wolverines offense only scoring 1 touchdown. The other 2 came by the defense and a punt return.
12 and a half minutes to play.
Michigan's offense, 11 times, 8 punts, 2 fumbles.
They show blitz. Passes away to Thomas. Thomas has the 1st down at the 45-yard line. So this big freshman from Louisiana stepping in for the injured Howard, doing a pretty good job.
It's a big play for Michigan. 3rd down, they get to keep the ball. Here comes the blitz. Everybody's blitzing. He's going to hit the back out of the backfield. This man up here's got a coverage. Top left of your screen's got the coverage.
Thomas now has 75 yards on 7 catches. That's given to Chris Floyd, the fullback, and he's good for 2. Time very precious now for both teams. We're in the 4th quarter. 20-14 Michigan. It was 20-0 at halftime.
Freddie Puggich, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, is bringing somebody, linebackers or DBs, safeties, on every snap.
Second down, penalty flag. Everybody pointing at each other, and I think the movement's on the Michigan side, the offensive line.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5 yards, 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down and 13. So 11 minutes and 21 seconds to play in the football game. It's movement there by Hutchinson, the left guard. But they're getting a little antsy now because they're dinged up, short of people, and the Ohio State defense is putting the heat on. Pass to the sidelines to Anthony Thomas, and a sure solid tackle by Antoine Winfield.
This young man is playing an outstanding game, Keith. If he doesn't make that tackle, the receiver can run up the field, make almost a 1st down. He's really playing a good game.
For a 180-pounder, I think it's been remarkable because he's taken on some big people.
Yeah, and his job is to cover the fast wide receivers. Charles Woodson, like Charles, he's in the ball game right now.
3rd down and 12. Trips at the top of the picture. They got him. Rodney Bailey, freshman defensive end. And he sacks Greasy, and it's 4th down Michigan. So from a 13-0 lead at the break to 20-0 just after the half. Here's Ohio State about to get the ball in probably pretty good field position. Benson's punt, fair caught at the 26-yard line by David Boston. So if you are a Michigan fan, you might want to take a deep breath and hang on. It's at the 27-yard line. 1st down, Ohio State. 9:58 to play in the game. Michigan 20, Ohio State 14. Joe Germain is the quarterback. That carry to Pepe Pearson. And it's good for 6 yards. The crowd today, new stadium record at Michigan Stadium. 106,982.
They're counting all the people up here in the press box, too.
They count everybody. And it goes in the books, and it'll be second down in the short 5. This is Pearson. Second effort, close to a first down. I was reading through the Michigan scrapbook that I have, and I have one from Ohio State. Somebody put together, and they're fun to have. But it's incredible how Don Cannon with marketing turned it, and with the success of Bo Schembechler as a coach and now Lloyd Carr, the crowds that they draw here. Pepe Pearson, tough back, senior.
I'm sure Lloyd Carr is wondering what's happened here. He knows the momentum has changed. He knows his top 2 running backs are out. Clarence Williams was out before the game. Now Chris Howard, probably his most valuable player on offense, is out. He doesn't have a lot of offense going. Some of his offensive linemen are hurting, and now Ohio State has the momentum. He needs something from his defense.
Third down, on the first down from the 37 now for Ohio State, and that first down was solely the possession of Pearson. They blitz, they break it, and move the football again for a big gain by Pearson all the way to the 48-yard line. So the Buckeyes now are starting to blow some holes in the middle.
Well, Gilbert and Murphy, the right guard and center, and the fullback just gets a stalemate with Sam Sword right there. There's a stalemate with Keller and Sword. That's all you need. That's a got man for Keller.
So first down Buckeyes at their own 48, 8:45 to play in the game. They trail by 6. This is Pearson. Now you're getting Woodson out of the secondary and Weathers out of the secondary, and Hendricks coming up trying to stop the Ohio State running game.
Mentioned early on, the Michigan defense came in ranked #1 in the country. Well, they're up 6 points. They've got to stop Ohio State from moving down the field, but Ohio State is running right through them right now.
In the middle of the Ohio State offensive front, redshirt freshman and 3 sophomores. Second down and 3. This is Keller. And he's just short of his first down, or at least it seems so from where they've marked it. Pearson getting very close to 100 yards. He has 91, I believe it is. 7:40 to play in the game. And Ohio State just bumping it along, going in the right direction and going at a steady pace.
Time is not a concern now for Ohio State. They have run the last 4 or 5 plays for a very nice average.
It is a concern, however, for Michigan, because if they keep grinding it out on the ground here, there's a hard tackle by Marcus Ray on the ball carrier Pearson, but he's got his first down. If they continue at this pace, Bob, they're going to be down around maybe 3 minutes by the time they get it in the end zone. Then the time becomes critical.
If they can get it in the end zone, as I've seen the Michigan offense the last 3 series, they really look crippled.
Yep.
They don't have their inspirational leader in Howard. Their linemen are banged up.
Pearson. Josh Williams behind the line of scrimmage. Back to the 45-yard line. That's a big play. That might put him in a position where they'll force him to throw it now.
91 is Josh Williams right there. He fights off 2 men. Keller is oversized, overmatched, blocking Josh Williams.
It'll be second down and about 15. Pearson is way out top of the picture. There's a wide out. Jermaine back. Lets it go down the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended for D. Miller. At least he was the closest man to the ball. But I'm not sure that he was expecting it. It might have been Boston they had
I think he was throwing it for Boston. I think he only has eyes for Boston in that situation. And that was a dangerous throw because Boston was trying to fight his way through traffic and was not looking for the ball.
Ball is on the 45-yard line. 3rd down and about 5.
3rd and 15.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
15.
You looked at the short line.
15. I'm trying to count. See where they are. The 6 up front. Now they peel off. Jermaine rolls. He's looking for Miller. He's not there. They go the other way, and it is incomplete. Intended for David Boston in front of Marcus Ray. And Boston went down flat of his back and may be out of air for just a moment.
That was a dash route. They call it dash. Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, getting him outside the pocket as we look at Boston still on the ground.
He went down very hard, went way up in the air, and is going to come down right on his shoulder blades.
He did.
So you've got a timeout for Boston at 5:54 to play in the football game. 20-14 Michigan. It is 4th down and 15 for Ohio State when we come back. Okay, the old deck is ready for another shuffle at 4th down and 15. Bartholomew is in. Ohio State's going to punt, and Woodson goes back for Michigan. Obviously, they'd like to kill the ball down inside the 10-yard line if they can.
Well,
which means Bartholomew's going to stick it in the clouds.
Now here's the situation. There's 5 minutes and 54, almost 6 minutes left to play. Ohio State has 2 timeouts left. Obviously, they're feeling that they could kick it down there, stop Michigan, and get the ball back in plenty of time, in good field position.
Snap's good. Kick is high and hanging. Woodson comes up for a fair catch at the 17, so it's not as deep as they wanted. Michigan's ball, 1st down. Adamy is out there, dragging her left, spraying in the lower back. Ryan Greasy is at quarterback. Chris Floyd is the fullback, and he bangs in for about 3, maybe 4 yards. He gets it out to the 21. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd down and 7. The clock, however, is now running. Ohio State with 2 times out remaining, probably want to save at least one, but they're going to have to spend them eventually if Michigan picks up a couple of 1st downs.
Exactly, and that's what Michigan wants. 1st downs. This is a critical defensive series for Ohio State. Stop them, make them go 3 and out.
Michigan's got enough points, they think, that they can move it on down the field a couple of 1st downs. This is Floyd, and they're looking for him now, and he's down right at the line of scrimmage with Rodney Bailey leading the defensive surge. And Floyd is hurt.
Floyd is their big fullback, Keith. They're blocking fullback, and he is not their primary runner. This is a tailback offense, and the tailbacks have been Howard and Clarence Williams and Thomas.
Floyd comes out now, and Thomas is back in.
Thomas is a true freshman.
Demetrius Smith is at fullback. Greasy back, throws it to Thomas, and ball's thrown very quickly and quite hard, and he couldn't reel it in. Anthony Thomas trying to run that wide receiver screen into the middle. Demetrius Smith is that big 270-pound freshman fullback, but he was not involved in that play. It was between Greasy and Thomas, and it didn't work, and now Michigan's going to give it right back to him. With 4:23 to play. Benson, spinning kick, some room for Berry. Penalty flag as Berry is tackled short of the 45. Well, let's see about the penalty. That's the man to watch right there in the white hat. It's against Ohio State. Fist is closed. That's holding. Here's John. So the record crowd of 106,982 now comes up to try to help their home defense as Ohio State comes to the attack for the first down at their own 32-yard line. The quarterback is Joe Germain. David Boston is back in the lineup, having had the wind knocked out of him. Germain's pass down the middle intended for Lumpkin is too high. Marcus Ray was covering, but Lumpkin could not run it down. Pepe Pearson ran into Glenn Steele and Josh Williams and James Hall. 91, not 81.
Glenn Steele, 81, and Hall, 56, right there to greet him.
Here it was Hall. He's very quick. He's almost a linebacker type at that defensive end position. The loss is 3 yards. It is 3rd down and 13 for Ohio State. 3.5 minutes to play. Glenn Steele with a second successive big defensive play. Back to the 25-yard line.
There are critical times when you cannot take a sack. There's Steele on the other side working against Walter, 77. There's a coverage sack. The guys downfield were covered, and Joe Germain doesn't have the footwork that Stanley does to get out of there.
Bartholomew's punt. Woodson comes up and calls for a fair catch. And it'll be Michigan football at their own 38-yard line with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to play in this game. Now, if Michigan goes on, picks up the first down, maybe need 2 because of the 2 Ohio State timeouts, then the Wolverines might be rejoicing in a trip to the Rose Bowl.
Keith, I played a lot of football, and I remember there are certain times in a game like this that all you need are first downs. Just get me 10 yards and let that clock run.
Anthony Thomas, the freshman from Louisiana, a 220-pounder, 25-pounder, running behind Steve Hutchinson, gets a pretty good chunk right there, about 5 yards.
Michigan offense, they only run 4 or 5 different basic plays, Keith. Ohio State knows what's coming. Michigan's going to run their best play. It's just a matter who blocks it and who tackles it the best.
Backus is back in there with that sore ankle at tackle. Jeff Backus. They give him 4 yards and call it second down, a short 6. Thomas again, bouncing outside. Damon Moore coming over to help Andy Katzenmoyer. It's pretty hard to run east and west against these Ohio State linebackers. It really is.
Did a nice job of moving his line just before the snap of the ball. Best up the blocking side.
Buckeyes have 1 timeout remaining. It is 3rd down and 7 with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in the ball game. Michigan 20, Ohio State 14. The Buckeyes have 1 timeout remaining. Very briefly this, if Michigan wins this football game, they're going to Pasadena. They have not had a national championship at Michigan since 1948. 3rd down and 7. They really sorely need a first down. The blitz is coming. The ball is thrown. They're lucky to get it back. My goodness, that was almost intercepted.
Tried a little quick screen, and the blitz was there.
Blitz was coming, and no chance for that thing to work at all. Almost went the other way.
Tried to get the ball to Thomas. You see Katzenmoyer right there. He was going to Thomas the whole way. Michigan fortunate that ball was not picked off.
Now it's Michigan's punter back in. Benson, his 11th punt of the day. And Gary Barry is waiting for it for Ohio State. Barry standing back just inside the 20. Low kick. Hits the ground. Tail dragger rolling toward the sidelines. No return at the 16-yard line. And a minute 35 to play in the game. Now just briefly bring you up on what if Ohio State suddenly scores and wins this ball game. Well, then you'll have to wait a while before you know what's going to happen to the Buckeyes. Because if they jump in the polls to number 2, they go to the Rose Bowl. But if they jump to number 3, then they are eligible for an Alliance Bowl, which pays $8.5 million, and Michigan would go to the Rose Bowl.
If Michigan should lose and be in a three-way tie, then they would be the Rose Bowl team. That's what you're saying.
Yes. If Penn State can get by Wisconsin today and Ohio State loses here, the Lions become an Alliance Bowl probability. Joe Germain under pressure, throws. It is incomplete. He threw on his way down, and Jim Kimberling says, nothing doing. You're down right here at the line of scrimmage. Glenn Steele one more time.
Glenn Steele stepping up. What is this, his 3rd sack today? He came in with 5. Big guys, big players step up in big games, and Steele has done that today.
Germain from near his goal line throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for D. Miller, and Woodson is jumping up and down. The ball went right between his hands.
Almost picked that off.
Charles almost had another one. That's a minute and 10 seconds. That little clock up there in the corner, that'll tell you your time. Ball is on the 9-yard line. It is 3rd down and 17.
Ohio State is down in the closed end where the students are, Keith. It is the loudest part of the stadium.
Pass completed to Boston. David Boston. Down at the 16 by Ian Gold. They've got to go to the 26 to get a first down.
The clock keeps running. It's not a first down, so it's 4th down.
50 seconds. Intercepted. Incomplete. Sam Sword almost had it, and the ball came out. Ian Gold was the man that touched it first and deflected it.
Here's the 4th down play. He's going right over the middle. There are 3 or 4 Wolverines there. But he's going to Boston, his money man, and that's where all the Wolverines were.
Sam Sword almost had an interception, but it was Ian Gold in front and knocked the ball up in the air and almost tipped it back to a teammate. But it was 4th down, and Michigan owns the football down at the Ohio State 19-yard line with 23 seconds to play. Well, let's watch the play. Listen to this crowd, a record crowd.